Marketing reporting is a pain, regardless of what tools you have in place. There are many tools that will do something specific, but today I want to show how far AI has come in terms of what's possible to build for your team. The point here is to reduce the time it takes to go from insight to decision. And this is where having a dashboard like this is super useful. We've built a company dashboard for ourselves at Agents Dynamic that does a number of things. We've used N8N for workflow orchestration. We've used Apify for pulling analytics from our social platforms, SEO analytics, SEO data in order to build this dashboard. And we use OpenClaw as well to have some agentic features specifically around analytics. The first thing I want to go through here is the reports section, because this is something that will speak to a lot of people that create and post content. What you see is an aggregate view of different sources of information. We're connected to GA4, we're connected to Google Search Console. We pull data to see organic reach, visitors, understand where they come from, UTM tagging and all that. And using Apify, we also scrape our different social platforms, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, to understand which platform is driving the most reach, what geographies are most important, where is the follower growth happening, and which platform is having the best engagement rate. That's the type of stuff that you really want to see in order to inform your decisions. This top part here is to have a quick glance at the last 30 days or the last 14 days. How many visitors did we get? How many followers have increased? How many pieces of content have we pushed out? And how did this inform our traffic? Beyond that, we use OpenClaw and N8N to analyze this data. We can see here that we have certain platforms that are performing better than others. We have some priority actions and recommendations that are generated, as well as a top level view of the UTM tags that have driven traffic. Like this section that shows the best times to post, and that's actually based on real content performance. Super useful to have a top level view like this, and it's something that actively informs our own scheduling. Another section that we created is called market signals, and it's a search analytics section. This is something that you'll find in other tools like SEMrush, but oftentimes in order to access that data, you'll need to sign up to pretty expensive plans. Having those sections here, this is how we make our decisions in terms of what's the next piece of content that we'll create. And here is where Apify was really useful, plugging into a couple of actors that can pull out and help us explore trending keywords across the right geography, trying to understand what people are searching for when it comes to our niche, what topics are in high demand, the level of competition for these keywords. Also, how could we then turn that into content for ourselves? The point here is not to reinvent the wheel, but to tailor how the data is presented in a way that works for our team. The last thing I want to show that takes everything we saw before and ties it up together quite nicely is this card called Content Ideas, specifically a feature that creates optimized blog articles. These will pull from the keywords that you saw above this section. It will also do some magic around what are the pieces of content that perform best that we've already posted. We do some comment analysis that help us understand what people actually care about and how they react to that content, and information around what is our brand voice, what is our tone. All of this is taken to create suggestions on a variety of formats, but specifically SEO blogs. The feature not only drafts the article, it researches it. We have an integration with Perplexity and drafts a whole blog article that is true to our tone and pushed directly into our blog management platform. Once you've selected the blog you want to draft, you get to this page which researches the topic, defines the tone with you. It actually builds an outline first that you can feedback on. Here we do a bunch of stuff around optimizing for SEO. Once the research is done, you get this outline. You have keywords, you have your title, you have a summary, then you have your sections that are generated. If I'm happy with it, all I have to do is click generate article. The LLM will write each section sequentially, integrating the research that was done previously and any hyperlinks to our own content. The last step is a QA. We have a bunch of rules around how we speak, how we talk about our case studies, how we mention clients or not, etc. The article comes out as a draft. Then we get our article. While I'm reading through this, I'll quickly generate a cover. I can spend time reading through the article, making sure that this sounds like what I want it to sound like. I select the author, the category, and publish. The blog is something that we created within the dashboard as well. So blog platforms that you would have to pay for, gone. The pace at which the technology is advancing is pretty amazing. The fact that we've been able to create this dashboard internally only shows how the realm of possibilities has increased. The goal is not to have a nice UI, it's not to have fancy little icons or badges, it's to halve the time it takes to see something insightful, something powerful, and turn that into an action that will either drive sales or create new value within the company.